Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. Next up, we're moving on from music to the theater. Our guest today is Ursula, Gisemba. I really hope I'm pronouncing that properly. And Robinson Mudavadi. One is an actor. Yes, please introduce yourself.
I am Gisemba, Ursula. Yes. I am part of the KTA, Kenya Theatre Awards Secretariat. So what we do is we give people a platform, all theatre artists a platform where they can finally compete against each other. And then also besides that, it helps us to collect data about what's going on in the theatre industry. Yeah.
And of course, Robinson?
Yes, I am Robinson Mudavadi, an actor, currently working with Miller's Productions Kenya in the theatres.
And today we want to talk about, of course, the Kenya Theatre Awards. And before we continue, because this is the second installment,
yes,
let's talk about what initiated the creation of the Kenya Theatre Awards.
It was just a dream that we had, because the question was, we are all theatre artists, but are we competing? You know, like when you go abroad, they have the Tony Awards, and there you can see the best of the best, and people are asking themselves like hard questions about theatre, and that way you start seeing that people are actually not just producing shows, but they're actually saying, so what makes my show better? And the jury, our jury, because they go around watching all of these shows, they can also even give these people feedback. They can say, oh well, the script was great, but then maybe we need to improve on the acting. Or they can also talk to directors, how do we stimulate this industry so that people are not just making shows, and that's it, and that's the end of it. Yeah.
Robinson, let me ask you this. When you heard this is going to be, you know, a thing that you're going to have to be competing to get a slot in the Kenya Theatre Awards, were you anxious? Were you excited to finally get, you know, that recognition after competing with other, you know, because I believe it's categories male actors, female actors.
Yeah.
So Robinson, you would be competing with other male actors.
Yes.
So were you excited about it, or were you fearful?
I was very excited. Mixed reactions, because this is it's a big thing. Yeah, it's a really big thing. So like I was just given a call and told, you guys, you've been nominated as the best performance by a male actor in a supporting role. I was like, where? You're joking. And Nikangaleo category, the guys who I'm nominated with, hey, yeah, very strong guys. So yeah, nikasikia poa sana. So I just felt like I fit in that space because I've been there.
Let me ask you, Ursula, in terms of now the people who go to judge.
Yes.
Who's involved in the judging process?
So we have...
What is the criteria?
The criteria is, so first of all, they have to be people who love theatre. That should be a basis, because you can't watch all of these shows year round if you actually don't love theatre. And then once we past that, now we have different representatives from different places. The first place is we have a government representative, we have representatives from media, we have representatives from academics, and then we have theatre practitioners. So you'd find, let's say, within our 5-person jury currently, we have 2 of our jury members who actually do feel, let's say, 2 of those things. They're both practitioners and also academics. So, and all of them together, it's how they can sit and actually deliberate who is the best suited to be nominated. Yeah.
There's something I've always... Okay, I'm a fan of theatre.
Okay.
And I can imagine, especially for you, Robinson, let's say you enter a room and there are people who are talking about, you know, there's this new play coming in. There's the monologue part. Do they do that in terms of, you know, let's say if a judge just meets a random actor somewhere, they say, okay, act.
No.
Have you ever been in such a situation?
Well, basically, what I can say is that it depends, because it's not basically, they don't look at just the monologue part. Because there is, in acting we say there is no big role and there is no small role. All roles are the same. So you can be there, not having lines, but the way you're acting, yeah, shows something interesting. So they look at all aspects, like not just monologues. They just look at all aspects in acting. Yeah.
Such as Ursula?
Okay, so for example, Robinson was nominated as a supporting cast. So you'd say they looked at the whole piece, and within the same play, there was definitely other supporting roles. So it's, as an actor, are you able to portray the script as effectively as possible? Are your lines audible? Are you relating to your environment in the same, in a good way, not just even the actors, because the set is also a very key part. So that's why you see we have about 32 categories, all for different things. So it's not even just about the showy things, you know, the actors we know, this is a celebrity and that's it. It's also about the lighting design, the set design, who did the music design, who did the sound design, all of that.
And how everything comes together.
Exactly.
I would imagine play acting is different from TV acting, let's say. So how so? Is it more, you know, like, okay, this is what when I picture theatrical acting, I picture that Shakespearean thing, you're holding the skull,
Yes.
professing your love to something or someone. So is it overly dramatic? And how do you cope with that? And have you ever been in a situation where you had to downplay your theatrical acting for TV or vice versa?
Basically, what I can say is theater is the mother of film. So theater is where you'll get that confidence because you are standing in front of a live audience. So if you make mistakes, it is for you to correct mistakes and know how to move on. But in film, there is cut. Yeah, let's take that again. Like producer anakuambia nini, directors anakuambia all sort of things. So in theater is more of realistic things, what happens right there, right now. Yeah, so you face the music right there. Umeshika lines zako. You are supposed to move to this point to point A to point B. Without thinking of other things, like just straightforward.
Robinson, would you like to face the music even now?
Yeah, no problem.
Can I give you a challenge?
Yeah, give me a challenge.
We were discussing monologues earlier on. I've always wanted to be in the presence of someone doing it. I don't know if you are able to, if you can.
I'm not so good with monologues, but
perhaps. Okay, let me try to make it easier. Are you working on a particular thing right now?
In April we're having another play, but the script iko kwa inaitwa ngaje?
Bado
iko jikoni bado.
Okay, then there's something, maybe it's in the back of your mind you've ever memorized and you just want to let it out for the people watching us back at home.
So
camera number 3 is yours.
Justin, talk to me. Justin, what happened? I thought you were dead. No. Don't give me that. Don't bring your matter in this matter. I suffered. I took you to school. I wanted you to become like me. But what did you do? No. Don't give me that. Justin, don't remind me of your mother. She is dead. She's gone. But you have your friends. You can stay with your friends. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if Robinson does not win that award, kuna kitu.
So that was part of just some lines that I did because I was nominated in that play. It's called Backstreet, written by Saumu Kombo and Emmanuel Chindia, and directed also by Saumu Kombo and Emmanuel Chindia. It was about this guy who was in the army, and he was something happened. There was news that there was an explosion and he died. So I was the father. So we were just coming from his burial, and then he surprised us. The guy showed up and he's supposed to be dead. Yeah.
Ursula.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that performance?
It's amazing. You can see how it's a really good interpretation, really captures the feeling. And personally, I was moved. And I wasn't even there to watch Backstreet. And now I'm very curious. When are you guys showing Backstreet again?
Honestly, that was just simply amazing. There's something about theatrical actors. Are they called theater actors or theatrical actors?
Yes, actors.
Both is
Actors.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
theater actors.
actors.
Yeah, actors.
So there's something about actors that is just amazing. When you capture the essence of something that was written as a script, then you bring it, you give it life. It's simply amazing. That's what I like about theater. What about you? What made you fall in love with theater?
To be honest, my journey with theater, it's more about, it's selfish and it's about
How so?
expressiveness. So what made me fall in love with it was the freedom to express myself. So that's how I got into it when I was very young. I felt very inspired by this space where anything I did was okay. Like looking dumb was okay, looking smart was okay, being in between was okay. There was always a space for you in theater. So for me, I just carried that throughout my life.
So is it like, okay, from what I gathered, it's like you're saying with theater there's no judgment really?
Well, there's judgment, the jury will judge your performance, but in the realest sense, it's about you coming with your truest self, and that's what makes even great performances like the one we've just seen right now. It's that honesty of the human being and then telling those stories about people.
What about you, Robinson? When did you decide this is something I want to do?
Well, I've been acting since I was a little boy back in church. So I started in church, and then in high school I was taught by my trainer Cleophas Malala. Then in college I met Xavier J. Renato, who taught me, and he was actually the one who gave me the platform to start acting in the National Theatre. And so it's been a journey because it has always been in me to be an actor, because ever since I was a kid, when I used to watch TV, I used to say that I can be that person. And with acting, you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you can be a psychologist, you can be anything in acting. So it's interesting to just be there on stage and show the world what you can do.
Reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Do you feel like acting is somehow an escape for the artists?
It's a double-edged sword because you do have to escape reality, but in that sense that you have to actually understand and face a character, understand the script, it then takes you back into reality. It might not be directly related to yours, it might be somebody else's, but you are not per se just escaping. You're escaping to come back to it, I guess.
And let's talk again about the Kenya Theatre Awards. Let's talk about the first installment. Were there any challenges?
Yes, of course. The first one, which was held in 2022, which means they reviewed the year 2021, it was fresh out of COVID. So the people, all the companies were still getting geared up, trying to work around, how do we come back in? Are people ready for live shows? By then, we were still wearing masks. So it was a very different time. Our numbers have greatly increased from the first installment, which was about, let's say, about 100 shows, and then now we're looking at 500 shows that were seen in the previous year. So I think that was, of course, the first challenge. The second challenge, of course, is theatre needs more investment, and now that's the point where people like us come in, because we can give people numbers. We can show you Kenyans are watching this plays. People are paying for venues. These are the numbers of jobs that are created just by people going to the theater. It's not just the theater itself, it's vendors, people selling food, hospitality, security, all of these things. So as now, when we show people that, now they can rethink and say, oh, theater is actually an investment, so that we can move from there and people can start bringing in more money. Yeah.
Were you involved with the first one?
Yes, I was involved, but I didn't get a chance to be nominated. But I said there's always a next time. And yeah, my colleagues were nominated. Our theater company was nominated, but my colleagues won. Our theater company didn't win, but this year also we are nominated. And this year also I got a chance now to be nominated, and I felt like, yes, I deserve to be there.
Which reminds me, you have a company yourself.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. The creation. Why did you feel the need of creating that company?
Well, if you look out there, there are so many talented young men and women, and all of them are looking to have a platform and given a chance to perform in a theater or do something about acting. So we just sat down as friends back in 2017, and our mentor, Xavier J. Renato, decided that we should create something for ourselves, so that at least in future we can have something to call ourselves. Yeah. So we started Miller's Productions Kenya. We did our first play at Ursula Academy. Our Father is Naked, and we didn't get so much hatukupata pesa mzuri, and the audience walikuwa wachache sana, but we felt like this is a stepping stone, because you have to start from somewhere. You have to start from somewhere. So we started with Father is Naked, and right now we have done more than 10 plays, and we have increased our audience capacity, and yeah, we are heading to the right direction.
In terms of theater especially, I felt like, there's always this company and that company. Or sometimes they call it troupe. Ile troupe, do you feel like it's more family oriented? Like, okay, let me give you an example. Nice Gidenji. Normally she has the usual suspects that she's in a play with. You get Robinson. Normally unaweza mpata na ule na ule na ule. Do you feel like the theater part inakuwaga like it's who you know, Ursula?
Unfortunately,
or acting in general?
Unfortunately, I can't speak for the people who cast, because now this is direction that comes from the producers of shows and different theater companies. So for example, Robinson is part of Miller's, and Miller's is a theater company. So when you go to see a Miller's show, you will always see faces from Miller's.
Exactly.
However, we have different types of companies that have now bring in very different faces coming in together. So for example, the guys who did Nairobi Performing Arts Studio, who did Gahika Deda. So they have like very different faces in that particular play versus like the faces you'll see in the next play.
Is that an outside company?
No, it's actually based in Kenya, and they do all their shows in the Kenya Cultural Center. Another company that I could think of is Aperture Africa. They do the same thing. They bring in different faces from across Nairobi, and then they have their shows there. Now the challenge becomes, who is the best actor to get casted?
That's very interesting, because I was talking to another actor, if I may say, and they were talking about chemistry within the Kenyan industry of acting. Getting chemistry with another actor is not as easy. And why is that, Robinson?
Well, it all depends. What I can say, actually, for example, like it's my first time to meet you. So we really don't have much to say to each other. But if we are given like 2 or 3 months, by that time we'll have known each other, and that chemistry will have been created. So it all depends. In theater we say it's not about you, it's about us. So that chemistry has to be there. So you just can't stay with someone, act with someone that you really don't know about them. So with time, you have to know about them. So that chemistry is very important in acting.
Now, we talked about the challenges of last year's installment of the Kenya Theatre Awards. This year, it's coming up.
This year.
Were you able to learn from past mistakes, if I may call them mistakes, or were you able to improve?
Yes, we have been able to improve, and we're still taking notes. We tell people just go to our website and actually write into us and tell us anything that you have any problem with.
For instance, let me ask you this then. As someone who wants to participate within the awards, what do I have to look out, what can I look out for?
It's a very simple process. Number one is have a company and have a good show. And once you check that box, our jury is ready to watch you. So you go to kenyatheatreawards.com, and then in that website, you'll scroll down and you'll see somewhere written jury invitation. And then once you click in there, everything is pretty straightforward. How many of the jury do you want to invite? When is the show? Upload your poster, and then after that we just stay in touch. It's very simple.
It's mostly companies such as Miller's which are able to come and invite you, the judges, to come.
I don't know companies, any company. There's no limit to which company, there's no limit to where you live. Like now our challenge would be, if somebody lives too far, if a show is outside of Nairobi, we have to gather as much resources to make sure our jury gets to wherever you are. So for example, this weekend, there is a show in Eldoret, and we still have to consider that because we said Kenya Theatre Awards. It's not about just hanging. It's not Nairobi Theatre Awards, yeah.
So in terms of funding, where do you guys get the funding?
We try to find as much partners as possible. Our biggest support, of course, has been the Kenya Cultural Center. They support, and they actually host almost 90% of our shows. They host so many shows, and that has been an easy way for us to have a place and a station to work from, and also they are hosting the awards, so we don't have to struggle to find a new venue for the awards. Now, beyond that, we have friends of Kenya Theatre Awards like the Goethe Institute who help us with different things, whether it's technical work and helping the jury move around. Yeah, and we are always open to new faces and new sponsors at any point.
Is there like a link or a website or a phone number they can reach you at?
Simple.
Kindly.
KenyaTheatreAwards.com.
KenyaTheatreAwards.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. Robinson, man, you're talented. What's next for you?
We have a play on the 8th and 9th of April. An original Miller script, Saumu Combo, and we are hoping that you guys could have a chance and come and watch us. That's a big challenge because some people still think of theater like it's just acting ile chini chini or something like you just go and pass time with. But I assure you that there is a lot of entertainment when you come and watch those plays. You learn a lot. Yeah. So on the 8th and the 9th of April at the Kenya National Theatre, Miller's is showcasing an original play. So
the 8th, that's on the 8th and the 9th of April.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. Jina ni?
Bado jina ijakuja, but itakuja katikati.
Script iko jikoni. Got you. Ursula, what's next for you?
What's next
the Kenya Theatre Awards aside, for just a moment, what's next for Ursula?
For Ursula?
Yeah.
I am also an audiovisual artist, so I do have my film premiering in a festival a small festival in free-to-air TV in the UK. So latest Visions Film
In the
Festival.
UK, why not Kenya?
KBC, thank you. You're free to host my film.
You have to start with the national broadcaster so that we get the go-ahead to go outside.
Dear KBC, I have a film. Yeah, but yeah, so it's coming out in March for the International Women's Day.
Thank you guys so much for coming through the Kenya Theatre Awards. We're looking forward to the second installment. Like you said, big things happening, and of course so many talented individuals such as Robinson are going to be there. Thank you. Can you remind us the email once more before we sign off? KenyaTheatreAwards.com. And if you'd like to join and see other artists, we will have space for you with a screen outside the theatre on the 23rd of February. That's next Thursday. Thank you so much. Don't touch that dial. We're going to have a short musical break, and we'll be back with more interviews.